Yeah, welcome back to DXB today, giving away some goodies a little later on, but also giving you some great knowledge for free now from some of the finest designers here in the region. None more so than our next guest, who is the MENA Interior Designer of the Year, Design Principal and Creative Director at KCA International. It's a warm welcome to the show to Rakan Jandali. Thanks so much indeed for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thanks for joining us. I saw you listening away to your peers and colleagues there and nodding away and agreeing with many as well. It struck me though, you know, we talk about the opportunities here at the moment, which is great, and no one's going to take those opportunities away. But you're also starting to hear the S word, saturation as well. Is there such a thing as a saturated market when it comes to design?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's very saturated, but of course, in order to be able to have a certain level of creativity, you have to be curious as a designer, and this is what is very important for us these days. And at KCA, we always look at each project as a blank canvas. We look at them as a blank canvas, and this is how we approach designing them. And in order to be innovative, you have to have a deep research, first of all, as a starting point. And then you have to have this cultural and contextual understanding. And then from there you move into what inspires you as a designer. So sometimes it's a piece of art, sometimes music, films, sometimes fashion, as we discussed fashion a minute ago. So bringing all these together to create what we call a design narrative or storyline that basically adds to the guest experience. So when they're experiencing these spaces, they're immersed and they feel meaningful at the same time. So first impression and last impression as guests leave these spaces are quite important for us. So this is how we play with being creative in the market.
Love it.
It's fascinating because listening to you there as well, and I know that you're also hosting a masterclass. And I kind of wanted to know, it was about storytelling, right, in design. How does that then reflect to, I guess, the real world project?
So the importance of storytelling in design is basically giving meaning to a space beyond the surface. It's not all about the furniture, the finishes, the materials that you're using. How these spaces can evoke emotions and evoke experiences to the guests when they're walking around these spaces. Hence why it's important to have a design narrative or a storyline. And this is why I'm doing this masterclass, to explain the process. And when it comes to real life application and how we apply this in design, I have a few examples from some of our projects. So for instance, we have created this design narrative that evolves about this art collector that is traveling around and collecting these pieces. And then how you showcase those pieces within the spaces in a creative way that basically the guests feel that there is some sort of a narrative. Why this piece is showing here, then why when you move to another space that other piece is showing up. Another thing we play on also is how you can make them immersed within your design narrative and within the design that you're proposing within the hotel. For instance, we designed this sustainable hotel, and what we try to do, because it's a sustainable hotel, you have to use sustainable materials, you have to stay sustainably well within this hotel, how you can psychologically play with them being immersed, that they are contributing to the sustainability aspect within the hotel. So we created in one of the flooring, there are these power generating pads. So as they're moving, because it's a heavy traffic zone, we have an installation, a light installation in the ceiling. So when people are moving around, this installation is interacting with them. So psychologically, they're feeling that they are contributing to energy within the space. So that's one aspect that we did. Another thing, having that emotional connection with the space. How do you create it? So what we did also, there's some sort of a reward system mechanism that we worked on with the hotel operator. So if they stay sustainably well, we have done all the artworks in the hotel spaces incomplete on purpose. So what they get rewarded with pins with their initials, and then they contribute to the art within the hotel spaces.
You're gamifying hotel stays and design.
Exactly. So in this case, they will feel like they have contributed to the art. At the same time, they have this connection, and then again, they want to come back and see how this art is evolving in time, through time.
When I was 9, my school did some drawings that were up in the new hospital. It's still there.
Yeah,
just saying.
So that's what we call emotional connection.
You
of course, you're contributing to it.
Rakan, I wanted to ask you. You're on the advisory board for Index. I mean, I was just wondering, what are designers and architects prioritizing now? What are you seeing trending? What are the innovations? Like, is there anything exciting coming up?
So we're moving towards purpose design. So we're designing not only for aesthetics, but also how we can add value to the users or the guests or the people who are using these spaces. So this is where it's heading. It's not a one-size-fit-all design anymore. So wellness is becoming a very important part of our industry these days. We have user experience, as we said, how we can add technology, a layer of technology on top to enhance the user experience. This is another thing. Circadian rhythms and how lighting can improve a wellness or a being of a human in time and through time. Also, how we can develop these design stories is becoming very important. And we're seeing now with residential developments, branded residence is becoming a big important part. So now hotel operators, they're moving to operate residential apartments. So it's becoming a big thing in our industry these days, and we're designing many of them here in Dubai or in other parts of the region.
So Rakan, obviously the MENA Development of the Year, that's a big title you have there. Designer of the Year, yes, yes. So, I mean, how did that come about and how did it feel to have that title?
Oh, that was very humbling at the beginning. I remember when I went to stage, I hugged him. Like, I didn't know what to do. To be honest, I was running to the stage and I hugged him because it was a special moment. Obviously, I always say, let your work speak for you. I'm someone who really appreciate the fact that the judges back then, they appreciated certain types of designs that I was trying to propose for my projects, for our projects in KCA. That adds responsibility as well, how I can stay innovative and pushing boundaries in design moving forward. And yeah, you enjoy it basically. You enjoy it for one day and then you move back to work.
It's always nice to have the award up there.
Of course, yeah.
You mentioned technology. Yes, thank you. You mentioned that earlier. Talk to me more about then where you see tech, and I guess another buzzword, it's not sustainability, it's AI.
Absolutely.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, artificial intelligence is becoming an important part of our industry these days. I mean, it is a very powerful tool to be used, but if it's used in a good manner, all right? And there are ways to use it not only from a creative way, but also from a technical side, which is, I find it also very important to not only focus on the pretty pictures, but also how it can help us shortcut some certain hefty and annoying tasks that we do on daily basis from a technical point of view. There is something that I like to mention also in my masterclass. I've actually created to explain my story an animation, and that animation was purely using AI.
Incredible.
All right, so I would like to show it during the keynote speech, so I can explain how we can utilize this AI tool properly. The other thing that I would like to note also, the young generations, they should be very careful about how they use this tool, because being heavily dependent on this tool, you will use a certain type of skills, like critical thinking skill, problem solving skills. And then when this tool disappears, you wouldn't know how to deal with life again, right? So I always, whenever we have talks, whenever we have opportunity to speak to younger generations, always advise them to use it in a proper manner. And I think it's not just our responsibility, also the educational centers, the universities, the schools, they should actually highlight the fact that this should be used in a part of a process. No, don't shortcut a process completely and then end up with a pretty picture. And our industry is, there is this lovely podcast that I've seen recently. It's called the Angry Designer Podcast. All right,
Good
and
name.
because of artificial intelligence and whatnot, they have brought this very interesting topic. They're saying our creative industry is going to be split into, it's divided, it's going to be divided. So we will have these creators or creatives that are purely or pretending to be creatives, that all they care about is the pretty picture, the cool picture they are producing. Because AI in reality only capable of, or incapable of producing something bad. Okay, everything looks pretty. On the other hand, you will have these creatives that are thinkers, strategists, problem solving. They try to solve problems, and that's what is going to differentiate between one designer and the other, and how people can move forward. And unfortunately, some people will be left behind. So you'll have the creative thinkers and the creative output. That's
it. Adapt or die, isn't it?
Correct.
Rakan, honestly, I'm fascinated. We've run out of time, sadly, because I'm literally hanging on every single word, and it is fascinating. Thank you for taking the time. Congratulations again on your award, awarded by Mr. Tom Urker.
Oh yeah.
And we hope to have you back on the couch very soon. Thank you very much.